से कहो राम राम राम।
प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
श्री राम राम राम
श्री राम राम राम।
पाप कटे दुख मिटे लेत राम नाम।
पाप कटे दुख मिटे लेत राम नाम।
भव समुद्र सुखद नाव एक राम नाम।
भव समुद्र सुखद नाव एक राम नाम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
परम शांति सुख निधान दिव्य राम नाम।
परम शांति सुख निधान दिव्य राम नाम।
निराधार को आधार एक राम नाम।
निराधार को आधार एक राम नाम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
परम गोप्य परम इष्ट मंत्र राम नाम।
परम गोप्य परम इष्ट मंत्र राम नाम।
संत हृदय सदा वसत एक राम नाम।
संत हृदय सदा वसत एक राम नाम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
महादेव सतत जपत दिव्य राम नाम।
महादेव सतत जपत दिव्य राम नाम।
काशी मरत मुक्त करत कहत राम नाम।
काशी मरत मुक्त करत कहत राम नाम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
माता पिता बंधु सखा सब ही राम नाम। नंदना
गौरी मनोहर प्रिय नंदना
गौरी मनोहर प्रिय नंदना
गौरी मनोहर प्रिय नंदना
पशुपति तनया गजानना
पशुपति तनया गजानना
पशुपति तनया गजानना
पशुपति तनया गजानना
हे परम निरंजन शुभानना
हे परम निरंजन शुभानना
हे परम निरंजन शुभानना
हे परम निरंजन शुभानना
गजानना हे शुभानना
गजानना हे शुभानना
गौरी मनोहर प्रिय नंदना
गौरी मनोहर प्रिय नंदना
पशुपति तनया गजानना
पशुपति तनया गजानना
हे परम निरंजन शुभानना
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 मानस भज रे गुरु चरणम
मानस भज रे गुरु चरणम
दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम
दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम
मानस भज रे गुरु चरणम
मानस भज रे गुरु चरणम
दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम
दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
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 स्वामीनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
स्वामीनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
स्वामीनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
स्वामीनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
मानस भज रे गुरुचरणं
मानस भज रे गुरुचरणं
दुस्तर भवसागर तरणं
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 काली महेश्वरी पार्वती शंकरी शरणं 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 मां
काली महेश्वरि पार्वती शङ्करि शरणं 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 मां
काली महेश्वरी पार्वती शंकरी शरणं 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 मां
काली महेश्वरि पार्वती शङ्करि शरणं 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 मां
दुर्गति नाशिनी दुर्गा जय जय
दुर्गति नाशिनि दुर्गा जय जय
दुर्गति नाशिनी दुर्गा जय जय
दुर्गति नाशिनि दुर्गा जय जय
काल विनाशिनी काली जय जय
काल विनाशिनि काली जय जय
काल विनाशिनी काली जय जय
काल विनाशिनि काली जय जय
उमा रमा ब्रह्माणी जय जय
उमा रमा ब्रह्माणि जय जय
उमा रमा ब्रह्माणी जय जय
उमा रमा ब्रह्माणि जय जय
राधा सीता रुक्मिणी जय जय
राधा सीता रूपिणि जय जय
राधा सीता रुक्मिणी जय जय
राधा सीता रूपिणि जय जय
काली महेश्वरी पार्वती शंकरी शरणं 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 मां
काली महेश्वरि पार्वती शङ्करि शरणं 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 मां
दुर्गति नाशिनी दुर्गा जय जय
दुर्गति नाशिनि दुर्गा जय जय
काल विनाशिनी काली जय जय
काल विनाशिनि काली जय जय
उमा रमा ब्रह्माणी जय जय
उमा रमा ब्रह्माणि जय जय
राधा सीता रुक्मिणी जय जय
राधा सीता रूपिणि जय जय
राधा सीता रुक्मिणी जय जय
राधा सीता रूपिणि जय जय
काली महेश्वरी पार्वती शंकर शरणं 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 मां
काली महेश्वरि पार्वती शङ्करि शरणं 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 मां
दुर्गति नाशिनी दुर्गा जय जय
दुर्गति नाशिनि दुर्गा जय जय
काल विनाशिनी काली जय जय
काल विनाशिनी काली जय जय
कुमारमा ब्रह्माणी जय जय
कुमार माँ ब्रह्माणी जय जय
राधा सीता रुक्मिणी 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 जय जय
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Conquering inner enemies. In the morning we say, Lord Krishna himself points out who our primary enemy is. Kameshaha, Krodeshaha, Rajoguna Samudvavaha, Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyenamiha Vairinam. Lord Krishna says, may you know this Kama and Krodha to be Vairi, to be your enemy number one. Meaning that this Duryodhana is out there, as though Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, the Duryodhana is out there is not your enemy number one. The enemy is sitting within you, and that is Kama and Krodha. Its most visible sign is anger. And each one of us deal with this devil or evil called anger. The Lord Krishna says, Kameshaha Krodeshaha. The reason for why the anger arises. Always kama or desire or demand or expectation as the basis of the anger. And we say in the morning that anger is invariably the result of unfulfilled expectation. And we always have expectation. In every relationship, in every interaction also, we have an expectation from the one with whom we are interacting. There is always an expectation. That expectation arises from my inner sense of lack or want, that I am a lacking, wanting, needy person. This need is not always a physical need, which it also may be, or need in terms of wealth, power, etc. More often than not, it's an emotional need. The emotional need of the fulfillment, satisfaction, or the gratification of ego. So gratification is the basic need that human being has. The need for gratification manifests at different levels. We have these 5 organs of perception with which we experience the various objects of the world. And at the level of these sense organs, there is also a need of pleasurable objects. Like the eyes desire to have beautiful colors and forms, the ears desire beautiful sounds of music, etc. So there are these needs at the level of the sense organs. At the level of emotion, I wish that I should be loved and accepted. At the level of ego, I wish that I should be respected. So love and acceptance is the need of the emotion, and the respect is the need of the ego. So these various needs are built in to us. Needs at the level of sense organs to enjoy the pleasurable objects. Need at the level of emotions to satisfy my emotional need of acceptance. I want to be patted on my back, I want to be accepted, that's the need of emotion. Need of ego to be respected, to be successful. All these needs basically arise from ignorance, as Vedanta teaches us. And ignorance of what? Ignorance of our own self. In what sense, Swamiji, is there ignorance of myself? I am constantly aware of myself. I am constantly conscious of myself. But then the self I am conscious of, I always feel that I am a lacking, limited, wanting being. This is a kind of the conclusion I have about myself, that I am a needy, lacking, wanting being, and therefore there is in me a need or expectation that this need should be satisfied. If I cannot satisfy those needs by myself, then I expect that the world should satisfy those needs. And therefore, there are many expectations we have from the world. To satisfy our emotional needs, satisfy our egoistic needs. And when these needs are not satisfied, kameshaha, krodeshaha, these needs are called kama, desires or expectations. Desires by themselves are all right. As long as we can manage the desires, so long it's fine. When we become managed by desires, that is when the problems come. What is meant by my managing desire? Is that desire arises in my mind, I have the freedom to satisfy the desire or not. As long as I enjoy the freedom, my mind says, I want something, I say, well, I think it's not worthwhile, let it go. Mind says, okay. Mind says, I need something, I feel it's worthwhile, I may satisfy the need of the mind. So as long as I enjoy the independence, to deal with my desires, whether I want to satisfy them or I do not want to satisfy them, that freedom I enjoy, so long desires are okay. In the words of Puja Swamiji, as long as we manage the desires, we can afford to have some desires. But when desires start managing us, meaning that when a desire arises and slowly it builds up. So, as we quoted this verse from the Gita in the morning, Kamat krodho vijayate, when the desire becomes very strong, becomes in demand, then the desire starts managing me. And that is when that desire not fulfilled results into anger. So whenever there is anger in our mind, we must know that there was some expectation there. Some desire was there, some expectation was there, some demand was there. As human beings, we are very demanding people. We place demands upon everybody, upon the whole world. While driving on the road, I have a demand as to how the traffic lights should conduct themselves. I'm driving on the road, on the highway, there is an expectation how the traffic patrolman should conduct himself. I have expectation of everybody. How they should all suit me. How they should conduct themselves in order that I am comfortable. So this is my expectation from the whole world. And then how the president should be, the vice president should be, governor should be, X, Y, Z, whoever, how they should be. Maybe those things are not very important, but then at every moment how the world around me should be. How the spouse should be, how the children should be, how the friend should be, how the uncle should be, how the parent should be, how the neighbor should be, how everybody else should be. Now you pay attention, then you'll find that in every relationship there is this expectation on my part as to how that other person should be, how that person should treat me, how that person should respect me. This is a built-in need on my part. And when, as long as I can manage that need, that if the need is not satisfied, I'm okay. So long it's all right. But then, when the need starts managing me, meaning that when need is not satisfied, then I get upset, I get hurt, I get angry. So that is when we can say that I am managed by needs or I am managed by my desires. So that is when the desire becomes an enemy, not otherwise. Because karma or desire is something that Ishvara, Bhagavan has planted in us. In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bhartarshava. Here Arjuna, I am the very kama, I am the very desire. In all living beings, Lord Krishna says, I myself manifest as kama, passion or desire in all the living beings. Dharma aviruddha. As long as that kama or that passion or the desire is satisfied in keeping with dharma, so long it's all right. So long we are managing the desires. But when desire compels me to sacrifice dharma, to violate the basic values, to violate the basic norms, then I am managed by that kama, I am managed by that krodha. So this is what we have to look out for. And one simple rule is that I must make a commitment to myself that I will follow the rules. I will follow the basic values of life. That I will not be compelled by my mind to violate the law. While driving the car, my mind may, ask me to go at 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. Then it says 55 miles an hour, that little board is there. At that time, I must have the freedom to apply the brake, to manipulate the brake and accelerator in such a manner that I follow that rule. And more liberty we take, and Swami, nobody, you keep a little device with, everybody keeps a device. Swamiji, there is a traffic patrolman 2 miles away. My device tells me. So when we come closer, we slow down. Apparently, they also make devices to help us violate the laws. And once this tendency arises, then I may have attempted little violations here and there. One more gulab jamu, one more padai, one more this, take liberty. Thus, once I allow my mind to take liberty, then it starts slowly and slowly taking liberty. It's likely that this tendency may increase and a time may come that I cannot control my mind. Therefore, the first thing is a commitment to follow the basic rules. That I eat the food and not the food eats me. What do you mean, Swami, the food eats you? Food doesn't eat you. Yes, it does. So we had this patata vada or something this morning. You eat one. I don't know whether you had or not, but I had anyway. And then the second, and then the third. Even though I know my stomach, how much it can handle, how much it can digest, etc., etc., and still at that time I just cannot control myself. Shaknoti yas sodum prak sharira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sayuktas sukhi naraha. Lord Krishna defines a yogi in the Bhagavad Gita. Shaknoti yas sodum kama krododbhavam vegam. The vega, the passion that arises from kama and krodha, the anger, the desire and anger, one who is able to control that, when that passion arises from within, the anger arises, the desire, and then I'm able to keep under check that force of kama and krodha, so long you are all right. In fact, Lord Krishna says a yogi, the one who can keep the impulses of kama and krodha under check, Shaknoti yas sodum prak sharira vimokshana. Lord Krishna says, as long as you are alive, meaning that don't take things for granted or do not, just depend upon your mind. You must be alert all the time to make sure that you are not controlled by your kama krodha, you control them. When the impulse arises, then you should have the ability to control that. Sayuktaha, sa sukhi naraha. He is a yogi and he is a happy person. Why does this anger arise? As we say, kamesha, krodesha, it arises from my expectations, my demands upon the world around me as to how they should conduct. And when they fail to do that, that is when, so as they said, anger is a result of my unfulfilled expectation. So what can we do to become slowly control the anger? Examine our expectations. Every time I get angry, after the impulse of anger has settled down, then I can review that episode of my anger and ask myself, what was my expectation, what was my demand that was not fulfilled? There must necessarily be a demand on my part for anger to take place. So what was the demand? What was that expectation that was not fulfilled? I ask myself. When I discover what is, then next question is, can I let it go? Can I give up that demand? Can I give up that expectation? But Swamiji, if you don't demand, your children will never do this and nobody will listen to you. often the conclusion is that if you don't get angry, they won't listen to you. Child will not go to school, he will not study, etc., etc. The spouse will not do this, that, and so on. So we feel that unless we get angry, we cannot get things done. That's often a general conclusion. And therefore we use anger as a tool to intimidate others. We use our power, our position, and intimidate others by being angry. Those others will be our children. Whoever is dependent upon us, upon that we get angry usually. The very ironical thing is, we get most angry at people who are closest to us. And therefore a spouse is usually the person who gets, who becomes the object of my anger the most often. Then whoever is closer to me. Why is it so, Swami? This is, I assume, you may say, no, Swami, you don't know. But then I should know this basic thing. Because that is where I can take liberty. I know that here is a place where I will not be rejected, that I will not, my spouse will not leave me. He or she will continue to accept me after this is over. This has been known from long experience, and therefore I can take liberty. I cannot take liberty with my boss. Even though he may insult me in front of everybody, I have to keep quiet. He is my boss. So there are many places where we cannot take liberty, and then we just swallow our anger. So places where I need not swallow, There are places where I will swallow the anger. What can you say to a traffic policeman? Nothing. You just show the gun. I haven't done, he decides whether you are at fault or not. You don't decide. Hey, you entered the street, and then this car was... No, his car was very far. I saw it. That's it. And so there are places where you just cannot, exercise your authority or intimidate anybody. Where do we get angry? Where we can intimidate. Where I can use my authority or power to intimidate. So anger is an attempt to intimidate others, to control others, so that I have my way. A famous expression is my way or highway. Now we must know that this anger, it certainly hurts the person towards whom I am angry, because anger is very damaging. When we get angry upon our children, for example, it hurts their self-esteem. When we get angry upon somebody, then because they are dependent upon us, they are weak, or they are not strong enough, they are dependent, they have no choice, nowhere to go. But the anger hurts their self-esteem. And if a person is subject to anger again and again, they may develop a complex that I am no good. Because anger means that you are no good in one way or the other, that's what we are saying. And since I am in the position of authority, I am elder person, therefore ultimately the junior one will believe that they are like that. Thus, when we get angry upon somebody else, not only it hurts their ego, it hurts their self-esteem, it creates various complexes in them, and those complexes remain for the whole life. And therefore, anger is compared to fire. That fire burns or damages. But unfortunately, fire first damages the very source where the fire arises. Anger is like taking a red hot iron ball and throw at somebody. A red hot iron ball, who will be burned first? I'll be burned first. When I throw it, whether it lands on somebody else, that we don't know. Meaning that whether our anger will hurt somebody else, we do not know. But the first one that is hurt is myself. So we should observe all of this. There's nobody is free from anger, by the way. Nobody is free from ignorance. Therefore, nobody is free from a sense of lack or want. And nobody is free from low self-esteem in this world. That being the case, that anger is potentially there in everybody. However, so first of all, our Puja Swami used to say that first thing we should know is that this anger is my great enemy. Although often we use anger as a tool to get things done, as I said, we use anger to intimidate others so that we have our way. And it looks like it works also. Swamiji in the office, this fellow always gets angry, therefore. But don't think that anger works. As our Puja Swamiji would say, when this man enters the house, everybody, all teenagers, everybody goes to the room. Nobody's around there. Even his dog also disappears, because nobody wants to face him. You make yourself very unpopular, very unacceptable to the world, when you're angry. That is another thing. But at the same time, it hurts the self-esteem of others, and it hurts you also. Who means whoever gets angry, the person that this damages this person. So we should know that anger is very damaging to our own self, and Lord Krishna goes to the extent of saying that Krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibhrama smriti bhramshat buddhinasah buddhinashat pranashyati. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Krodhat, from krodha or anger, sammoha, delusion happens, meaning that we lose a sense of what is right and wrong. An angry person cannot make the right judgment. The innocent appears to be guilty and the guilty appears to be innocent to an angry person. Likely. That's called moha. Moha means aviveka. And therefore, it's quite likely that, this is a famous thing about our the Guruji of Shivaji, Samas Ramdas ji. He was writing his Ramayana. And it is said that wherever Ramayana Katha is there or whenever it is written, then Hanumanji is always present. So now came the episode in the Ashoka Vatika, where Hanumanji is sitting on the top of the Ashoka tree, and Sita ji is being harassed by different, these demon female, demonesses. So Samas Ramdas ji was describing this scene, describing the Ashoka Vatika, and said there were beautiful white flowers. That's what he wrote. Hanumanji appeared from nowhere. Say, you are wrong. So why? Those flowers were red, he says. Who says? Hanumanji says the flowers were red. He says, no, I am telling you they are white. These are quarrel between two bhaktas. Hanumanji says, who are you to say that? I was present at that time, but I see white flowers. I saw them red. You saw them red because you were angry. Your eyes were red, and therefore the flowers appear red to you. Meaning that when you get angry, you see something, you superimpose something which is not there. Innocent is thought to be guilty and is punished, and all sorts of things happen. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. From krodha, anger, sammoha. Moha means this translated delusion, but moha means aviveka. Seeing what is not there and not seeing what is there is called aviveka. The Vedanta standard example of moha or aviveka is Ropesnik example. You must have heard that. You know Ropesnik example? Where in fact there is a rope, sometimes taking a walk along the garden in the evening, twilight time. And taking a walk in the garden, I see a snake and, all of a sudden I'm fearful, my BP rises. What is that? A snake? A snake? My friend is just following me from behind. Swamiji, it is not a snake, it's a rope. He shows the torchlight. It's a rope. I calm down. So this is called moha aviveka. A rope appears to be a snake. And then my reaction is not to what is, but my reaction is to what I think it is, My reaction is not to what is, but what I perceive it to be. What is a rope, I perceive that as a snake and I react to that. Krodhat, this is called sammoha. What is sammoha? One thing is taken to be other, like the rope is taken to be a snake. So when I get angry at somebody, sammoha, an innocent person will, be judged by me as a guilty person. And then all my wrath, is all showered on that. Sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti bhramshat buddhinasha. Lord, smriti vibhrama. My smriti goes away, my memory goes away. Meaning that whatever my learning is, whatever my education is, whatever my culture is, it all disappears at that moment when I get angry. When I'm giving you a talk, I'm very, well informed, intelligent, cultured, talking about all these things. When I get angry, all these things just disappear. My culture, my upbringing, my maturity, everything disappears. And I behave like an immature person. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohas smriti vibhrama. Smriti vibhrama means whatever my learning is there, whatever my culture is there, is all relegated to background. At that time not available to me. Smriti bhramshat buddhinasha. When smriti goes away, when my judgment of what is right, etc. goes away, right appears wrong, wrong appears buddhinasha. My buddhi means sense of discrimination is hurt, affected, is damaged. Buddhinashat pranashyati. Lord Krishna says anger can lead to pranasya, distraction. Not distraction in physical sense. Vashyaka explains that, Shankaracharya ji. Purusharthaya ayogyo bhavati. Anger makes me unfit for purushartha, for achieving the goal which is my primary purpose of life. My goal is moksha, and that goal can be always kept in mind as long as my mind enjoys the poise. My mind enjoys a tranquility or equanimity, then that destination, the goal, remains in my mind as to what is right, what is wrong, what's a value, what should I do, what should I not do. This smriti always remains, and that guides me as to how I should conduct myself. Smriti Brahmshaha, that smriti of what is the destination, what is right, what is wrong, what behooves of me as a father, what behooves me of a mother, what behooves me of a son, a daughter, a guru, a shishya. We play different roles. In every role we have a dignity. Father has a dignity, mother has a dignity, guru has dignity, shishya has dignity, son has dignity, daughter has dignity. Everybody has dignity. The boss has dignity, the subordinate has dignity. And we should behave in a dignified manner. As a son, a dignified son, dignified servant, dignified master, dignified father, dignified mother. When I conduct myself in that manner, then I am conducting according to my education, training, culture, upbringing, scriptures. Buddhinashaha, but that buddhi is not available, meaning that I become a different person. I become a devil. Anger can make me devil at that moment. Swami becomes Durvasa. You know Durvasa? I am deliberately dilating this issue because we have to face this almost every day. And we should know that the one who gets most damage is the one where the anger originates. The object of my anger may or may not get damaged because I said when I throw a fireball at somebody, it may not land where I want and therefore, but I am certainly hurt. Buddhinashat pranashyati. A time comes when it destroys me as a human being. That I become incapable of any worthwhile pursuit in my life. And then many other things also happen. Well, anger leaves ultimately sadness in me. When the bout of anger is over and then when I regain my calmness, I know that what I did was wrong. I regret. So there is a sense of regret in me. Understand that it is not very conducive to my self-esteem. I do not like myself as an angry person really. If you want to take my picture, Swamiji, a picture please. How will I pose? A smiling person, not like an angry person. Nobody wants to pose. Whatever is inside is a different thing. The moment you use a picture, I display a smile. Because I don't like my picture of an angry person. I don't want to appear angry even in my photograph. Meaning that I do not like an angry eye. Whether the world likes it or not is a second matter. Primarily, I do not like an angry eye. So every time I get angry, when that anger is over, I become dissatisfied with my own self. And that is how this sense of self-dissatisfaction, sense of self-acceptance, I don't like myself. I don't accept myself. There can be self-rejection, self-condemnation. So this sadness can build up. Anger brings about sadness. And that is because sadness is because of non-self-acceptance. I do not accept myself. I do not approve of myself. I am not happy or satisfied with myself. So that is the damage that anger does to me. And that is how a constant conflict in my mind, because when I am not happy with myself, a constant conflict with me. So all these things we should recognize. So let us first of all become aware of ourselves and our mind. And what happens to me as a result of anger? What happened to the person upon whom I became angry is a different matter. Of course, that is very important. We are hurting them, insulting them. We are hurting their self-esteem. We are causing injury to their self-esteem. And when parents get angry at children, etc., the children lose their self-esteem. Whether you are any position of authority, you may be a father, you may be a guru, you may be a boss. Anger is because of my frustration, by the way. When do I get angry? When I am frustrated with myself. Why? Because I cannot have my way. So I told this 4-year-old, please switch off the TV. He says, do I have to? This little one says, Now I can't imagine that in India, that my father says to do something and this fellow says, do I have to? So this is when, I demand that everybody has to follow my instructions and respect me. And then slowly it stops happening because people don't respect me. People think that anger gets things done, anger never gets things done. Swami used to say, he was talking about his own experience. When he joined, when he was young and perhaps he started working in some place. So the old employees, they coach, indoctrinate the new one. So old colleagues told, something? Our boss is an angry person. You should never say this thing to him because he'll get angry. Do you want to see? Let us see. He will deliberately say that to that person. And see, he got angry. An angry person becomes a vulnerable person, also becomes, he can be manipulated by the world. Do you want me to just push one button, he gets angry? I become like a little mechanical doll who can be controlled from remote, and then people know how to what button to push. And I react like that little doll. So this is, when we recognize all of this, then a strong will should arise in me that I must become free from this inner enemy that is anger. Swami would say that just because you say you are going to want to be free from anger doesn't happen. He will give an example, This alcoholic. He says, Swamiji, I am going to give up alcohol. Swami says, he doesn't say the alcoholic says, because he doesn't have freedom to give up alcohol. And therefore, it is not that I will not get angry now. As this man comes to Swami, he says, Swami, I have given up anger. So Swami was teasing him. I don't think that you have given up anger. Since 4 months I have not got angry, Swami. Maybe somebody has not provoked you, that's all. No, I haven't gotten angry. Because nobody has provoked you in 4 months. I am telling you, Swami, I am not angry. I have not gotten angry. One more and then, gets provoked. As though the thing is waiting inside and somebody needs to push a button So we can imagine how vulnerable we are. And therefore there must be my own sankalpa, resolve that I must become free from this inner enemy. Kama is there, but then it becomes enemy when it becomes krodha. That's why he spoke so much about anger. But Swamiji, how do I become free from anger? So in conclusion, we will repeat our famous story. Once upon a time, Prajapati means the father of the world. This Prajapati or the creator has three progenies. Devas, Danavas, Manavas. Devas, the gods. Danavas, the demons. Manavas, the humans. These are the threefold progeny of Prajapati. Once upon a time, these people decided, let us go to Prajapati to get some instruction from him as to can be useful in our day-to-day living. So each one of them sent their representatives. Deva, Danava, Manava. And then once Prajapati invited Devatas, why have you come here? Sir, we have come here to receive from you an instruction that can become helpful in our day-to-day life. So Prajapati says, Da. To Devata, said, Da. Did you hear what I said? Yes, sir. You said, Da. What does it mean? It means Dhamyata. Devatas understood. Because Devatas live in heaven. In heaven they have pleasure, as much pleasure, there is all indulgence going on in heaven. Because you get what you want. The indulgence is called kama. Kama is not just desire, but indulgence is called kama. When desire builds to a point of indulgence, then you lose control. So Devata said, yes, we understand that it's kama, indulgence is our problem. So the dhamyata, exercise self-control. Meaning that when a desire arises in my mind, one rasgulla, second rasgulla, third rasgulla, the dhamyata, control, no more. In fact, best thing is that before starting to eat, so what do we have today? Rasgulla. I'll make a decision. Sankalpa, only 2 rasgulla. 2 patata vadas. 1 purana puri. Before starting to eat, I make a, sankalpa. And this is where I will stop. Our Swami used to say, you have freedom to push your chair back from the dining table, Dhamyata. That's how you can control your tendency to indulge by self-control. By putting limits on your own self as to how much you will indulge. Then the Danavas went. Same instruction, da. You hear what I said? Yes, da. What does it mean? Dayadvam, because Danavas, we know that we are very cruel, the demons. So Dayadvam, have mercy, have compassion. Meaning that when anger comes, then have mercy, have compassion towards the person towards whom I am angry. Okay, let it go. Become large-hearted, does not matter. He has done this, doesn't matter what the person did. Just accept it. Be kind, be compassionate, be large-hearted. The example of large-hearted is very simple. Once we were talking, one elderly gentleman was there, was talking, and a child entered, his grandson. This child just slapped his grandfather. I don't know, that fellow must be angry, whatever. Do you think, what did grandfather do? Slapped him back? No. How beta. So how he was able to accommodate his grandchild? Because he has kindness, compassion. So also that anger can be overcome by kindness, compassion, large-heartedness. And finally, manavas, datta, the human beings are very greedy. Greedy means they don't part with what they have. Datta, be generous. So the. First da is damyata. Second da is dayadhvam. Third da is datta. Damyata, control of the self. Daya, compassion. And dhanam, charity. Either 3 da or 3 C. Kama, krodha, lobha. Kama, C, control. Krodha, C, compassion. Lobha, greed, C, charity. So this is called pratipaksha bhavana. The deliberate effort to take the opposite position, to neutralize that impulse. So this is how we can slowly, these impulses are our inner enemies, they control us and they make us do things that are not in keeping with our own dignity. And therefore, a value that I must become a kind person, must become a compassionate person, become a person with self-control, become a charitable person. Those values, and I constantly observe my mind and neutralize my impulses with these pratipaksha bhavanas. So we can slowly gain freedom from the control of this inner enemies, kama, krodha, lobha. So with that we will conclude our discussion of conquering inner enemies. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So tomorrow is Sunday, which is third Sunday. So we'll have Gita class tomorrow, and so tomorrow we'll meet at 10 o'clock and we'll continue with the discussion of the Bhagavad Gita. And so classes will be there, but the topic will change. Tomorrow Sunday from 10 to 12:30.
It will be in the temple, yes?
Oh, is that what it is? Tomorrow. So tomorrow classes will be in the temple. All right?
Just be seated for 5 minutes. I would like to share a few things with you. So this is the shortest camp where we had, but this is what slot was available. So it was announced in the morning, I believe, whether we can club this with Independence Day camp. All are you okay with this? We have to make decision because We are chalking out 2024 programs. Are you engrossed in the subject, or you would like to take your own time to answer my question? I don't mind. Weekend would be better? Okay. Next year, because of Independence Day, we are losing over 4 or 5 days. And Swamiji has a number of commitments in India. So we thought that, and also Independence Day, response is, I would not say great, but we can accommodate this one. So if you all feel it's not going to help you, or then okay, we can seriously think about it. How many of you want to go ahead with our plan of clubbing this camp in July, Independence Day? Whatever weekend it comes. Same, we'll continue. Anyway. Few people here and there, I think. They want exclusive camp. Okay. I'll discuss with Swamiji. I say that there was no enthusiasm to say that go ahead with July camp. So I'll discuss with Swamiji and do whatever is best for all of you. Huh?
Started like Thursday evening, so Thursday evening, then Friday, whoever can come should come, and it should be similar to the Labor Day camp in terms of the time.
Started on Thursday. We did once, but Thursday seems to be still working day for some of them who are working, and so anyway, so let me know before you leave. Okay. Thank you. So, and second one is pranams to Buddha Swamijis for teaching with ease and compassion to all of you at this pit and retreat camp. This is part of our tradition to offer pranams, which you are going to do it in person tomorrow when the Gurudakshina is being conducted. Secondly, it's a follow-up of the teachings, whatever we hear. It's not one-time learning. The learning is, it goes on. So I would say it would be great if you could follow up these teachings in some way by forming groups or attending existing groups like Gita Home Study, or also we have a number of CDs. Now CDs is gone, but that's the word I know. And you can listen to any of Swamiji of your choice. So in some way, please continue the studies. I'm very happy. Yes.
July 4th comes on Thursday.
Correct. So we are, 3rd is holiday, correct? 4th is holiday. 4th is holiday. So we'll start on 3rd evening. Anyway, in any case, they have to take 1 day leave as far as July is concerned. So we'll start on Wednesday evening, Thursday is holiday, and Friday 1 day they will take leave, Saturday, Sunday is weekend. Okay. So we have been able to continue Vedanta teaching for 4 days. For 37 years. Can you believe this? We recently celebrated Gurukulam 37th anniversary. That's possible because of Puja Swamiji and all other teachers and generosity of you all. Thank you so much for being patrons for all these years, and we are certain that you will continue to support us so that we can continue to provide programs as usual without any interruption. If you feel inflation has not been accounted, for we have not made any change. You can add one more GFT or upgrade us so that it will help us. Once again, we thank you all for coming here in person to attend this camp. As usual, our thanks goes to staff for their dedicated work, and special thanks to Shri Sahadev, who is there in audio, video. Are you there, Sahadev? Sahadev and this group. And kitchen staff for Ram and Taraben and all our staff, maintenance, housing, office, name it, everywhere you have people to help you. So may the Lord bless all of you with sound health and knowledge. So as far as tonight's program is concerned, I think Savitrimani has chucked out something. You better go along with it. So it's supposed to start at 7:15 and we'll conclude at 8 o'clock and we'll have satsang with Swamiji. That's the wrap-up session tonight and tomorrow morning. No meditation. Swami Muktatmanji will take his concluding class at 8:30 a.m., 9:30. Then 10 o'clock, Swamiji will take Viditatmanji concluding camp class. And at 11 or 11:30, you will have Bhagavad Gita weekend class. You will see a few more people joining you because we are going to honor all our volunteers who helped us in our anniversary function. So you'll have more people joining these classes. So, and lastly I say, make sure your rooms are relatively neat and clean when you leave it. Not like that hurricane has entered. So, and hand over your keys to the main office before you leave. Thank you all. Take care. Stay healthy. Try to come as much as you can. Namaste. Yes? Office is open 7 o'clock, 7:30. 7:30 is better. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Guru Dakshina will be at 12:30. Swamiji's Bhagavad Gita class followed by Guru Dakshina. Now you all can go to Arati and come here for dinner. And get ready and wear costumes given by Savitrimani. Make her happy. Thank you.